No, I'm standing in for Deputy Smith. Thank you very much. Minister, a protocol to assist victims of domestic violence has been established between the Department of Social Protection and TUSLA. Under this protocol, if you are a victim of domestic violence, you will be able to apply for rent supplement or referral by TUSLA or TUSLA-funded service providers. Can you outline for me the measures taken to assist domestic violence victims to access rent supplement and, if possible, the number of persons accessing this payment, particularly in my own area, Carlow Kilkenny? Thank you.
I thank you, Deputy Deputy Murnane-O'Connor, for raising this issue. In August 2020, I agreed a protocol with TUSLA on a pilot basis to make rent supplement more easily accessible to victims of domestic violence. This seeks to ensure that victims of domestic violence are not prevented from leaving their home because of financial or accommodation difficulties. The arrangements in this protocol are additional and complementary to, and not a substitution for, the range of other supports already in place for victims of domestic abuse. There are currently 52 victims of domestic violence being supported with rent supplement under these arrangements. Under the protocol, after 6 months of support, it is expected that the customer will, if eligible, be able to migrate to HAP or other social housing supports supported by their local authority. In line with the National Economic Recovery Plan, these special arrangements for victims of domestic abuse will remain in place at least until the end of 2021. A review of the pilot is currently underway involving key stakeholders to determine whether the provision of rent supplement to victims of domestic violence should be extended and to take on board any lessons learned. The service has been successfully delivered and is available nationally, with active tendencies using the protocol in nearly all counties.
Thank you, Minister. And we've all have seen that COVID has shown us that there were and continue to be issues for those experiencing domestic violence arising from COVID-19. I know in Carlow Kilkenny there has been an increase in incidents reported, and I myself have worked with victims in my own clinic, and I see the rise myself. But the increase in domestic violence incidents this year is not excluded to my own area. It's actually, there's over 3,000 extra incidents have been reported during this pandemic. So it is important that supports are made available across the board. Having access to cash is an essential lifeline for domestic violence victims. Having a place where they feel safe, where they can, afford the essential means, and that's the thing for families. I think we need to make sure, and I'm finding that sometimes, Minister, there are barriers to accessing this vital support. Some of these barriers, I believe, are administrative, and I would really appreciate if you could look at that for me. Another concern I have is an actual place for victims to find accommodation. More and more women are coming to my clinics that, like I know in Carlow, Minister, and I've raised this with you before, there is no emergency accommodation in Carlow. Now, look, I will compliment Carlow local authorities and Carlow's Women Aid and all the different services. They do work with, domestic violence cases, but it is something I believe that we need to look at more as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. A lot of the issues you raised, Deputy, actually move into the Department of Justice, and because in Justice we are leading the development across government of the 3rd National Strategy on Domestic, Sexual, Gender-based Violence, which will place a priority on the prevention and reduction, and will include a national preventative strategy. And the new strategy is being co-designed in partnership with the sector. So we're working with the NGOs. It will be the most ambitious strategy to date and will radically improve services and supports for victims. In terms of the supports available, the Department of Justice will continue to have lead policy responsibility for domestic, sexual and gender-based violence, but there's onus on other departments to step up to the plate. As far as my Department of Social Protection is concerned, we have allowed easier access for the rent supplement, and that's only right and proper. The issue around accommodation, I think that probably falls into the Department of Housing, and so it's about a joined-up thinking, and it's something that the government is taking very seriously.
Yeah, thank you, Minister. I firmly believe it's about housing, justice and health. I think that's where we need to look at. I think there has to be cross departments here, and we need to work together to support this. But I also want to ask you about people that who go in looking for supports with the domestic violence, and maybe funding for training for those maybe in TUSLA or TUSLA funded services, because I'm working recently with people, and I think sometimes, Minister, there's language barriers there now. I also, working with people that maybe have an intellectual disability, or maybe a hearing problem, or maybe illiteracy. So what I'm asking you is there courses there for TUSLA? Is there training there provided? Because it is important that whoever comes to our door, Minister, looking for help through domestic violence, that we can deliver on that. And it is important, Minister, and I can only stress this again, it's all the different departments working together. It's housing, justice, health. Because if everybody is working together, because as you said yourself, it falls under all the different remits, and I believe that all of us working together and with the different departments, it can be stronger. The only other thing I will ask, 42, you said, have applied for it. On the scale of things, Minister, I wonder, is that low? I wonder, are we actually doing enough information out there? Maybe do we need to look at giving local authority and maybe giving more information out there? Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you, Deputy. And just to say that the Department of Justice, and in conjunction with the Department of Children, the old Department of Children, it's the Department of Minister O'Gorman's department. We're working together, and as you know, his department funds TUSLA. We have also the O'Malley report. It's supporting a victim, implementing. It is called Supporting a Victim's Journey. So a number of measures there that's been done. Funding for NGOs providing court accompaniment and related information and support services has been increased. And as part of the implementation Supporting a Victim's Journey, the Department of Justice reviewed the supports and funding it provides to civil society organisations providing frontline services, and this was done to map the journey that faces the victim in order to identify the gaps in supports available. Work is now underway with NGO partners to fill the gaps identified, which mainly relate to training and supervision issues. So there is a lot of work being done, and rightly so, Deputy.
Thank you.